Okay, so let's do a quick wrap up of the games we played and the deck itself. We again performed pretty strongly against reactive, like mid-rangey controlish decks, and got run over by humans. To be fair, the matchup against aggro humans should not be that bad, but we were on the draw in 2 out of 3 games and had a very slow hand in game 1 while he had a really good hand. So that definitely hurt us. But I can see this version being weaker against aggro humans than the traditional green-black sacrifice because it has 5 1-drops less, and Blister Pot is actually a really good card against aggro humans, unlike against a lot of other decks. So yeah, I mean, I think this approach is pretty interesting, and it certainly kind of upgrades the traditional green-black sacrifice deck. The mana base, though, gets a little more painful. There's a lot of scenarios where you have only pain lands as black source, and that can be hurtful depending on the draw. If you draw like, if your draw has neither a white, like a plains, a swamp, or an evolving wild, and you draw like a mix of those cards, you're gonna pay a lot of life, which we have seen in a couple of games. In some it mattered, in some it didn't. But yeah, all in all, the deck played out pretty nicely. The individual card power is a lot higher, which I appreciate, and the transformational sideboard plan is very powerful, but I am not entirely sure if it solves the problems the deck had, since the low power level did not seem to matter too much when not under pressure, like against the non-aggro decks. We already did pretty well last time around with green-black sacrifice, and we still lost to mono-white humans, which might just be a case of them having very good draws and us being on the draw and having kinda weak draws. But I also played against one banned humans player in that league off camera, and also lost 1-2, feeling similar to how I felt with green-black, just kind of being overwhelmed. But I was very impressed how Displacer, among others, and the one of Nisa managed to turn around a very close game where I was at 2 life at one point, and the opponent had tragic arrow against me, and I managed to turn that game on him, stabilize, and win from there, which is certainly something that green-black wouldn't have been capable of in that way. So I think the deck is probably overall better than the traditional green-black, and is definitely something worth further exploring, but I'm still not 100% sure if it is actually better than the human-based decks. My opinion right now is that white humans and banned humans are probably 2 of the best decks in the format. I have played both quite a bunch in leagues online and have been consistently very impressed with the power they bring to the table and how much winning I have done with those decks. Even when I have not been like super focused and playing perfectly, the decks are just so powerful that they often just completely crush your opponent, and you don't even need to do that much right, basically, which is kind of a theme I noticed in the format, is that the power level is in a way that actually your draws and your cards seem to matter more than your decisions. Like I played a PPTQ online and a PTQ with banned humans, and I felt most of the games were decided by cards and draws rather than plays. There were not that many spots where you had like relevant, like 2 relevant decisions and stuff. So yeah, that's my takeaway from this. I think I will play a little more with this, maybe give it some more chance to prove itself. but so far it just felt less impressive than the two human decks that I've been mostly playing lately, and I would probably recommend, if you have an upcoming tournament and don't have enough time to test this deck enough, to probably just play one of the two aggressive human decks. You can hardly go wrong with those. They are so powerful and so impressive from my experiences with them that it's hard to play something else from my perspective. I haven't played with green-white tokens myself yet, and that's a deck that is doing really well for quite some time now, so that's worth keeping in mind as an alternative. But from the decks that I played, I've been super impressed with the aggressive human decks, and feel like even this update on the sacrifice archetype is probably not enough to put it on the same power level as those decks. But I'm not entirely sure, like the sample size from those videos is very small, and we have been doing pretty well, so this could be worth keeping in mind as an alternative. Okay, thanks for watching. See you next week. Bye.